closed session, please?
Sure, the board met in closed session regarding conference with legal counsel regarding significant exposure to litigation pursuant to subdivision D2 of Government Code Section 54956.9 in 2 cases. No reportable action. The board also met in conference with legal counsel existing litigation pursuant to D1 of Government Code Section 54956.9, Laura Atkins versus County of Lassen, Lassen County Superior Court case number 2024, excuse me, -CD0076588, and there was also no reportable action.
All right, thank you. And do the pledge of allegiance. Mr. Albaugh.
Yes, I will. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
God, I just ask, God, that you would just watch over us today, God. God, as we go over the agenda, and God, that you would just help us to make the right decisions, God. God, and I just pray for all of our county employees today, God. God, that you would watch over them and guide them and direct them today, and God, that you would bring them back home safe to their families. And I pray all of this in the wonderful name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Okay. I'm looking for agenda approval.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Okay. Motion made by Supervisor Bridges, seconded by Supervisor Scanlon. Is there anybody from the public? Okay. Seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, at this time, we'll do public comment. And first speaker is Nicole Baum.
Good morning, I'm Nicole Bond,
I'm Tiffany Armstrong from Lassen County Behavioral Health.
and we came to talk to you about the second annual Veterans Stand Down. It was a huge success. We saw about 200 people there and attending. The VBA for Veterans Benefit Association saw 35 plus veterans. They enrolled 9, and of those 9, 5 of them already had benefits coming that they didn't know about. So it was amazing. Our vendors included the VA, CalVet, VBA, and they also brought their tox exposure team. They had 2 mobile medical units that came with them, Nation's Finest, Warriors Hope Ranch, S&M Acres, the VFW, the American Legion, the County VSO, Behavioral Health, Public Health, Blue Star Moms. High Desert State Prison had their honor guards. Susanville Assembly of God did the invocation. They cooked and served lunch. The Depot Barbershop was giving veterans free haircuts that day. Banner Medical Center, AT&T, Lassen Rural Bus, Salvation Army, Lassen Family Services, Alliance for Workforce, Sierra Army Depot, Lindsay Martin, she sang the national anthem for us. District 5 Supervisor Jason Ingram gave our opening speech. Thank you so much for that. And there was a vehicle static display. I did not get the guy's name. He showed up and he was like, "Can I set this up and show the veterans?" And I said, "Absolutely." And then I also wanted to thank all of the people in the community that kept promoting it weeks and months before the event. I was so grateful. I did not know that it was shared on social media as much as it was, actually until Sunday, the day after. Are there any questions?
Sounds like a great event.
Yes.
Thank you guys for going.
Yeah, that's huge, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I just want to say, I'm going to give huge kudos to Nicole Bond for putting this all together. She was our facilitator for this past year, putting and organizing this event. It's sad to say that Nicole Bond will be leaving us. She'll be moving away on June 10th to New Mexico. So we're going to hate to see her leave because she put a lot of time and energy into these events. So huge kudos to her too. So.
Well, that's a big loss.
Yes,
It is a big loss.
I'm very sad. I'm trying not to tear up right now, actually.
But we appreciate all the services that she did for our department for many, many years, so.
Thank you
Huge
for your
kudos to
service.
hers, and she kinda said, this is my last board meeting, so yeah, it is.
Thank you.
Yeah, but thank you guys, and we appreciate it, and we're hoping to have it again next year.
Yes,
Thank you for
Thank you.
all your hard work.
thank you.
Good luck in your next.
Yes,
Thank you.
good luck, Nicole.
Thank you.
Okay, we have another, speaker at this time for public comment. Come on up, Rick.
Great. Come on, Bill, come on up. So, good morning.
State your name and for
Yeah.
the record.
You bet. Rick Hobson. I'm the new forest supervisor on the Lassen National Forest, week 3. So I wanted to just make a few general comments, but mostly just introduce myself. But I brought along Bill Miller, our forest fire chief, so I was going to let Bill introduce himself as well too. So, Bill.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bill Miller. I've been here for some time now, but looking for an opportunity here with our new forest supervisor to recommit and get engaged with the county board of supervisors.
So, like I said, week 3 just starting here. I have a little bit of engagement here as well too. So I just want to recognize I was able to join our regional forester Jennifer Eberline almost 3 years ago when she came and met the 3 county board of supervisors. I was kind of her driver at the time, new to the regional office. Most recently, I've been in the regional office as the ecosystem management deputy director. So that's a regional level natural resources shop. Almost 12 years as a district ranger. And then before that, I was a hydrologist in various places, including Region 4, Ogden, Utah, but mostly in California. So most of my time has been here in this state of California in Region 5, about 28 years of experience, and really excited to be here. And this is a very neat place to be. It's been very dynamic with the Forest Service on staffing and different opportunities. You probably heard about some of that on the news. We're still kind of working through some of those transitions right now with who's going to stay with the agency and who's not going to stay. Some people are being transferred. I was transferred here from the regional office. This is something that Jennifer Everline did, who's our previous regional forester before she retired. We have a new acting regional forester, Jason Kiken, so he's also available to you guys as well too. But mostly want to come here and let you know I'm available. I'm here in Susanville. I'm renting in Janesville at the moment, looking for more of a permanent situation. So kind of working through all that. But please reach out. I got to chat with Chairman Neely a little bit and plan to continue that relationship, but looking for, through conversations, what sort of topics you'd like me to bring to the board, what's of interest to you. Last thing I'll say, and then I'll open up any questions, I just want to recognize also the letter that was sent by then Chair Outlaw to the regional forester last year. I read through that, actually was able to help a little bit with Jen's response to that from a little bit more than a year ago. So I feel like I have some idea what some of your issues or concerns are, and in my humble opinion, some of the things you were asking for in a new forest supervisor, I'm hoping I bring that to the table. Some of the experience level, working with communities, working in partnerships, being collaborative. That's who I think I am. And I guess it would be remain to see how well I show up here. But those are my intentions, and looking forward to working with the board for supporting Lassen County. So with that, again, not a whole lot of content today, but just want to see if you guys had any initial questions or comments for me.
One question, are you acting or permanent?
It's permanent.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
yeah, it's a permanent assignment. Yeah,
It's a win.
yeah.
And Rick, we'll, for the public comment, there's not a lot of back and forth.
Yep, yeah, I realize that.
So,
Yep. Yep.
So we will, gather up, all of our questions and then,
Great.
have staff, reach out to you and get you scheduled back in. And
Great.
we can have a more productive, discussion.
Okay, that sounds great, and I'm not sure exactly how your county works, but if you want to reach out to me individually, please do so. It's just going to help me land here and understand the culture and the interests and all that. So, we know we're going into some challenging times, but I also think we're in a period in our agency where we're going to be see some rebuilding, changes in how we operate. I think there's going to be some good stuff coming out of that, some efficiencies. So I think I'm hopeful that we can work together on what that looks like. I'm new to here, so I've only been here a couple of weeks. So anyway, yeah, any other questions or comments? Or
What was your last name, sir?
Hobson, Hopson. P as
So
in
you
Paul.
can ask them about
Yeah.
that question.
I don't have cards yet. They're coming, so I'll get some business cards soon. So yeah. And my email is richard.hobson@usda.gov. And Chair Neely has my information too, I believe, so you can
Yes.
share that, yep. Yep,
I just wanted to welcome you.
thank you.
You know, change is sometimes hard, but on the other side of it, it's usually very, very productive and well done. So I'm looking forward to that, and thank you for being here.
Thank you, appreciate that,
You're here at a critical time, we're glad to see you.
thank you. Yeah, I think I am too. I think this is gonna give me a key time for looking forward and addressing some very challenging issues, so. We got a lot of work to do, and I realize that when you have some things that, and again, your letter was really well written. When I helped Jen with it, I put a few words in the response as the deputy director, we agreed, and we agreed that some of these things need to be changed and worked on, so. We have to work within our capacity and our budget and all those things too, and something you'll hear from me is really partnerships, I think, is a way to do that. And we've been doing that quite a bit, so I'll be curious to hear from you what that looks like from the county perspective as well too, so. Anyway, well, thank you very much. Look forward to working with you all.
Do you have any? Bill? do you
As far
have-
as updates, I can tell you right now, I mean, that what we're focused on with our fire program and our fuels program is the staffing and preparation for the season that's coming. We're finishing up our annual training process that gets folks ready for the summer and starting to work with our partners a little bit more again. And we are hand in glove with our CAL FIRE, our BLM, and our National Park programs. There's room for us to spend some more time with our local government, and I'm looking forward to doing some of that with our folks, so.
Right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
So is there any more public comment at this time? Yes.
Good morning. John McGarvey, Sheriff Coroner. I actually come with some good news. So, you don't have to act so shocked, Amanda. Wow.
Somebody ran over a wolf.
So, actually, I'm here to talk about something that we've debuted at now being able to release at the Sheriff's Office. Our new Sheriff's Office app is now available through Google Play and the Apple App Store. It's Lassen County Sheriff CA. If you search those on either Google Play or the App Store, you'll come up with our Sheriff's Office app, and you'll have access to CCW information, how to apply for a CCW. Inmate searching is coming online. You'll have access to Megan's Law for sex offenders. If you click on that, it'll take you right to Megan's Law. Several other things, calls for service. You can request reports through the app, through our office, and various other things. We have things about animal control. We have a button on here for code enforcement that if you hit it, it'll take you directly to code enforcement's link. Live scans. We talk about our policies, which are required to be accessible to the public, will now be available through that as well. And then access to our civil division, process servers, those type of things. And we're excited about it. It adds a level of transparency to the Sheriff's Office that I think we've really wanted to achieve for a very long time. And it gives the public just that much more access to our local office. And really, we are in an app-based society now. Everything is at the palm of your hand, and it's so much more accessible, and people are more comfortable reaching out through those things instead of maybe coming to the office or picking up the phone. So we're really excited to have that thing online. It should have all the contact fully uploaded by the end of summer. We're still working on links through Sunridge to the app to be able to access calls for service or list of our incidents and those type of things, and they're building those bridges, but they shouldn't take long. This app company is through the sheriffapp.com. We came and did a contract for it a few months ago, and they've done apps like this similar for Madera County, for the California State Sheriff's Associations, and several other counties throughout the state. So we're really excited about it. They're nationwide. They got a good reputation. We're really happy for it right now.
That was good.
See, I have good news once in a while.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So,
Sheriff, can I ask you a question real quick?
yes, sir.
Does this new app, is it independent information, or does it rely on the county's website?
So it'll take information from our CAD system and put it up. So like if you want to go calls for service and you want to request a report, it'll send it through us, goes to our records CSO, and then she can get it to you, or the calls for service to the CAD. So as far as the website goes, to like, obviously the code enforcement link is on the county website.
And animal control, same thing?
So animal control for us, for our ACO, is through our department, so you get that by calling our department anyway. Unless you're trying to call the animal shelter, and then obviously that's through Public Works. But the ACO works out of my office anyway.
Yeah, there's a tab for it.
Yeah. Amanda's already got it.
It's cool.
And it's free. So it's a free app.
What was that site again, John?
So it's Lassen County Sheriff CA.
Okay.
Through you can either get it through, if you have an Android-based phone, you get it through Google Play. If you have an iPhone, it's through the App Store. But we're able to get it downloaded on both. We've tested it in-house, and most of it seems to work. Some of it's, coming to a theater near you later, but we'll get there.
Awesome, good job.
Thank you.
Very good.
Good job, Sheriff.
Thank you. Okay, is there any other public comment? Okay, seeing none, we'll go to unagendized reports by board members, and Mr. Ingram, you want to start us off?
Sure, no problem. Last week I attended my first Budget 101 meeting, Thursday at the admin office. I can't wait to attend more. It was very informative. We went over public safety, and we're going to cycle in all the different supervisors to get a better understanding of the budget. I thought it was a great idea, and shout out to everybody involved with that. I want to thank the sheriff for coming to the week of town halls, and also give him a huge shout out for going down to Sacramento and helping kill that ridiculous coyote thing they were trying to do last week. That was just insane. I wanted to thank John Clarici, Caltrans District 2, for attending the South County Town Hall, Pete Heinmeyer, our Public Works Director, for coming out to the Standish, Litchfield, Levitt Lake Town Hall, all the fire chiefs that attended all the meetings as well. Wanted to thank Nicole Bond and Behavioral Health for the second annual Veterans Stand Down. It was very well attended. A lot of resources there, so everybody involved with that, I wanted to thank them. Had an eventful stakeholders meeting with Mr. Vial and Mrs. Sanchez about better serving the outlying areas. We should have some better details here in the next few weeks. The South County food distribution will be on Memorial Day from 2 to 4 instead of 1 to 3. I'll help get the information out on that. And since we don't have a meeting next week, I want to remind everybody the Blue Star Moms Bingo is on June 2nd. It's always a good time. Come on out and play some bingo.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Alba?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't have a whole lot to report, other than, Fish and Game and your infinite wisdom, they got a website now. It's the CDF Wolf Tracker, where you can go look yourself to see where the wolves are. I guess you just gotta go on their website. Anyway, it's called the Wolf Tracker. It'll show you where the packs are. It's supposed to update every couple hours, whenever the collars update, so. It is what it is, take it with a grain of salt if you believe it, but anyway. It'll show you where the one is down by Milford, it'll show you where the Harvey pack is, the one down in Sierra County. I think there's two up in Wairika, this morning it only has one, and it'll show you where the one is down in Tulare County. They don't, have anything colored on the Lassen, as Richard said last week, so you can't see that one, but everything is all around us, so. Anyway, it is what it is. I guess with that, I'll just adjourn the meeting today in memory of two people. One is Jane Kopp, and the other one is Kathleen Myers. And that's all.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Mr. Scanlon, you want to go?
Sure. On Thursday the 15th, I also attended the budget/revenue training with Deputy CAO McMullen and Tax Collector Auditor Nancy Gardinas, and I learned a lot. It was a real eye-opener. And then I also met with District Attorney Melissa Rios regarding recruitment and workload issues within her office and the need for more funding and support. I attended the Zoom meeting with the State Fish and Game Ward and watched that, and Sheriff McGarva represented us very well at that meeting and stated the case with the wolves, and I appreciated that very much. I also attended the local Lassen County Fish and Game Commission meeting regarding gray wolves. Heard again a presentation by Sheriff McGarva. I was a little bit dismayed to learn that the state of California is in the process of
either considering or actually reintroducing the grizzly bears into California. And if we can teach them to eat wolves, then we're home free, but,
Well, you know, their native habitat is San Francisco Bay Area.
Brain County?
good place for them. And then, later today, I'll be attending the Honey Lake Valley Recreation Authority pool meeting. That's it.
All right, thanks.
Okay, let's see, I attended a NORTEC Executive Committee, meeting on Zoom. We're going through the process of hiring a new director. We haven't reached the final stages of that yet. I also attended the Zoom meeting on the coyote. Thank you, Sheriff McGarva, for doing an excellent job representing Lassen County. Also attended the local fish and game meeting the night that the wolves were brought up, and Sheriff McGarva was there again. He's a busy man, he's everywhere. On the 19th, which was yesterday, I attended a Zoom meeting for the PSA2 Executive Board. I leave Wednesday for two different NORTEC meetings on Thursday. And back home again that night for a meeting with the Lassen County Farm Bureau. I'd like to take some discretionary money of $1,000 and put it towards the Blue Star Moms. That's all I have, thank you.
All right. I attended the PSA2 meeting yesterday, and then I'm going to attend the pool meeting today. It's at 3 o'clock, and the Blue Star Moms, as Jason mentioned, on June 2nd, they're having their bingo night. I also want to put $500 for the clay breakers out of my discretionary funds. American Legion Post 162, $800, and Lassen Family Services $500. And I would like to close the meeting in honor of my dad, Claude Neely. I think he was the best supervisor that Lassen County had, and so I'd like to close the meeting in honor of him. And that's all I Okay, we're gonna move on to, well, do we gotta wait 5 minutes?
Maybe do G? Important
G?
consent calendar?
Okay. All right, we're gonna move on to, G, information and consent calendar. Is there anybody that wants to pull
G3,
G3?
and 8 and 9.
And G8 and 9. Is there any other ones?
Nothing else other than pass the notes.
Okay,
I'll second it.
motion made by Supervisor Alba, second by Supervisor Bridges. All those in favor? Opposed? Okay, so we'll go G3.
Mr. Chairman, these are the minutes of the May 13th meeting, and there was a couple of corrections. We talked to the clerk. One was in the board comments, and then there was reports by Mr. Bridges to get the name changed from CASA to CSAC. And then the other change was on a motion, had the wrong supervisor changed from Bridges to Ingram. And then on the last one, the action was missing. I think you've got that verbiage, don't you, Bill?
Yes,
Okay.
and, the minutes have already been amended, so after approval, they're ready to go.
Okay. So with those changes and corrections, I would move.
Okay, motion made by Supervisor Alba with those changes,
I'll second.
and, Supervisor Ingram.
Oh, you did? I'll second the second. You want a third? Oh, third.
Did you get that second, Michelle?
I did, it's a
Okay,
quorum, I'm good.
It's a quorum.
Very good,
Okay.
very clever, Michelle.
Is there anybody from the public that would like to comment on that? Okay, seeing none, we'll bring it back up here for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, we're gonna move on to G8.
The questions I have for this is, how are you today?
I'm good, how are you?
Good. So with this is for the paralegal.
Yes.
And my question is you're not looking to fill this, you're just looking at the option to have this.
We're not looking to fill it this fiscal year. I'm sorry, Devin Chandler, Lassen County District Attorney's Office.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. We're not asking to fill it right now. We're going to explore that option during the budget process. So we're just asking for the job description to be approved so that we can fill it through the budget process.
Okay. That answers that question. Next question is for you two over here. Will this job description, will it apply to a different department if they so wanted to paralegal in their department?
It all depends on how it's written at the top. Most of our stuff, we have tried to make generalized, so it will say reports directly to the department head, and I don't think that this one is specific to just the data commissioner's office.
Okay, because on the agenda it wasn't specific, but on this one here it is. That's why I was asking that question. It was on both of them.
It's probably the one where it would fit the best. I mean, it would also fit maybe in county council,
Yeah.
but I think it's a generalized one, yes.
Okay. All right. Those were the two questions I had.
Okay, I'm also G9, so.
I know, we gotta take this
Oh,
first.
okay.
So Amanda, do you want us to wait a second while you look at it? Any other questions? Okay.
Yeah, it's specific to the district attorney, but it could be modified very easily to apply to any department,
But currently with
the way it's
two
written.
of our three law offices contracted out, there's no one else that is a paralegal anyway. So it's not an issue.
Okay, I would move approval of item G.
Second?
Okay, motion made by Supervisor Alba, seconded by Supervisor Bridges. Is there anybody from the public would like to comment on that? Seeing none, I'll bring it back up here for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, we're going to move on to G9.
Kind of the same questions. I'm assuming it's the same answer for
Yes.
as far as the budget goes.
Yes.
Yeah. And then I got the same question for you guys
Yeah.
again.
So the way that you'll know that is on these controlling job descriptions. If they say reports to, and it doesn't say department head, then it is specific.
Okay,
And it also says in the body that it reports to the district attorney or deputy district attorney.
okay. But this can be modified very easily, because this is more general.
Right.
Okay. Very good. Those are my questions.
Okay,
Nobody else has
any
any?
other questions?
No?
I move approval.
Okay, motion made by Supervisor Alba,
Second.
second by Supervisor Bridges. Is there anybody from the public that would like to comment on this? Seeing none, we'll bring it back up here for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion
Thank you.
carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pretty good, actually, $10.
Tom, you're really polished today.
Well, fine. Okay. Now we're going to move to D, D1. And we have some certificates of appreciation for the Lassen County 4-H camp. And we're going to present the certificates. And I would like the board to come down and we will congratulate each of these 4-H members.
Hey, Tom, before we do that, can they come up and tell us who they are?
Absolutely. Well, okay, yeah. Okay,
All right, we don't gotta know who they are.
No, I know, we gotta come
Oh, okay, that'll work.
will that work? Okay, let's go down. We gotta recognize these kids.
How do you want us, Mr. Chairman?
We'll just
Where
stand
we'll
in
fit it?
front of Michelle. However we can gather in. Come on, you guys, we gotta get in close. I'm sure you're gonna take a picture. Okay. All right. Let me go. Okay, this is a certificate of appreciation, and we proudly present it to Russell Mallory. Thank you.
Good job, buddy. Very proud of you. Good job.
You got your name on your shirt, so you know who you are. Look at that.
Congratulations, sir.
Hey, hey.
Russell,
Russ here.
right here.
You gotta say hi.
Thank you.
Oh, look at Sam too. And Sandy.
And
Hold on.
Nikki.
I'll wait for it.
Good job.
Okay, thank you. All right, the next one is for Molly Dickerson.
Congratulations. Good job.
Congratulations.
You gotta pose for a bunch of people.
Center stage, there we go.
There
There you go,
There you
perfect.
go.
Stand up.
All right, the next one is Loyalton Allen.
Layton.
Layton
Come on up,
Allen,
Layton.
I'm sorry. Thank you.
Good job, young man.
Congratulations.
You got a double stack on the side of you there.
Easy there, Ambassador, easy. Center stage. A little bit over more. There you go.
Sorry, technology challenge.
There we go.
Okay, the next one is Maddie Johnson.
Good job.
Good job, Maddie.
Good job.
Real rock star.
The next one is Samantha Nevin.
Good job. Good job.
Congratulations.
Okay, the next one is Patton Hallmark.
Peyton.
Peyton. Hey, you're welcome. And
Well
your
done.
dad and I were
Good
on
job.
the volunteer fire department together.
That is true.
Good job.
Okay, the next one is Abigail Hemphill.
Good job, young lady.
Congratulations, Abby.
Yes, I noticed that. Impressive.
Okay. It's Megan Von Help.
Good job. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank
All right.
Just give him another hand.
Yep, and thank you guys, because you guys are our future, and I appreciate the 4-H program. There's, my kids got to go through it, and it just is, it's a great program for you guys, and you guys are our future leaders, and I thank you for that. All right, good job.
Sorry, I'm squishing you. Too many wires on.
Overnight. I remember holding Abby when she was that long.
Okay, we're going to move to D2, proclamation for Special Olympics, law enforcement torch run.
Thank you, or Chairman Neely. Chief Jen
Can
Brady
you
was
go to
unable.
the podium?
Do I have to?
Wow, most everybody else does. Do that story. Wow.
Never state her name.
With less slashes this time, Smith McMillan, Deputy Chief and County Administrative Officer. Not Chief, just County Administrative Officer. I'm here on behalf of Chief Branning, who was unable to make it today. This proclamation is very, very important. We have been doing this torch run for a number of years. We see all of our local law enforcement, including our awesome OES chief back there, running in this beautiful torch run for this great program for Special Olympics. We do a lot of fundraising for that as on the county, mainly probation. I can't take any credit for any of that. But it's a very important thing, or a very important event that we do. It brings all the law enforcement together, and like I said, it does benefit a very important event being the Special Olympics. We also have their athletes show up some of those times, so that's really fun to be able to see and interact with them. It's first thing in the morning, so you won't catch me there, but all you earthly risers, please show up. I will just donate my money. So if you guys have any questions, I'd be happy to entertain them.
What is it?
June 16th at like 6 in the morning.
Where at?
They start at
The court.
The
the
old
old
courthouse,
one.
right?
The old courthouse.
Yeah, start at the courthouse and
go
at
to
the,
new one.
oh, yeah, start at the new, end at the old. When they shut down the roads, go Riverside.
So it's all downhill.
I think it's a little bit uphill when you hit Mill Street.
Yeah.
That's why I won't be there.
I'm out.
You can run the flat part by Riverside. It's fine. Any other questions?
I just want to say, you know, I've been attending every year, and it's great. You know, all the athletes, it's just you know, so awesome that they're so proud that that we recognize them, and this torch run is just it's unbelievable. I just recommend everybody getting up early that day.
I'll work on it. I'll try real hard.
Yes.
Just looking at the torch run memo, it says it starts at 7, and then it starts at the old courthouse and goes the other way.
Old to new, yeah. Oh, they're going that way?
That's what
Okay,
this
I
says.
thought we got the other way last year. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
It does, you see a lot of happy people there. It's pretty cool.
And it's nice to see all of our law enforcement out
Absolutely.
being just people, you know, it's hard to remember sometimes our officers are just people, but they are, so it's nice to see them just be.
It's nice to run with the cops versus from them.
Right? I mean, I don't have any experience on that.
How would you know?
All right. Well, any more questions? Anybody from the public want to comment on it?
Sure I will, since Chief Branning's not here.
You're right, I'm like,
Sure, John McGarvey, Sheriff Corner. I participate in this event every year either through money. I ran the event last year. It's a great event, Special Olympics. I grew up with this very much in my home. My mother spent a lot of time working with those in Special Olympics, so it's a very close cause to my heart, and I really encourage the public to get out and support the event. Unfortunately, I won't be here this year to participate in the event, but it's very important. We have probation has a flyer on their Facebook page, and then I will be putting one up on ours as well to donate or participate or sign up. So I encourage everybody to get out and do it. And the route this year is with the closure of part of the sidewalks on Main Street. I believe the route's going to go down Cottage and then come back out to Main, down Main to Rivers to Rob's Way, and then cut over to the Hall of Justice. So that's it. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else? Okay, we'll move it.
I'll make a motion to adopt the proclamation.
Okay. Motion made by Supervisor Bridges, second by Supervisor Ingram. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, proclamation passes.
next time we'll make sure an early riser shows up to present this, so we know what's going on. Sorry for my misinformation. Oh, God.
She might surprise us and be the first one there.
You never know.
Okay, we are going to move on to D3, the Frontier Communication Bus. Well, once he gets set up. Yeah, okay, we're gonna take a couple minute break, just while you get set up. All right?
What's that? It's sitting right here. Yeah, I need to grab.
There's a cord down here. Do you need this one?
Someone like it's all tied around. Yeah, perfect. Just gonna run back this way.
You move that way.
Save everyone all the
I
headache.
should. Like Richard always went. Right through back there, Mark, sorry.
I talked to you once before about the and they're asking me to ask you if the sheriff will be on.
Yeah, what do you need from me for that?
Permission to use your logo.
Okay, go for it.
Easy peasy.
Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah.
Absolutely, go ahead.
Thanks.
Yes. Ma'am.
Welcome. Thank you. Thank you. I'll keep it brief, I promise. Yeah, pictures, take your time. No, you don't want to say that.
So probation, Chief Jensen, just reach out to them and make. I think it's Callie Oxford is the first one. And she still might be able to get you in the Absolutely. We have some flyers in our office. I don't believe it.
See if I can.
Seven beer this year.
Thank you.
What was the question you gave the last time?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
See if I can even.
That's why I'm so close to livestock. I can't get away with that, right?
It was worth it, it sold it
Never
even
be
more.
the best years for them, but if you were to have used wood, I'd like to see a showmanship. I live on showmanship.
So are you gonna do it this next one?
Yeah.
I have mine up too, because I discovered there's
New ones?
there's mistakes on there.
Okay. Sounds good.
Correct the mistakes live.
Live and in time?
I've started that process to find out. I sent, I went over and saw that water next year. I'll see, I'm gonna do the whole.
Yeah.
Hanging in, huh?
Absolutely.
Did you get anywhere with PSA
That
two?
line has to be ancient.
Yeah, it looks like it's
Working
been
on
always
it.
there before we bought the place.
Trying to get a
Been
place
over there
for
3 years now.
middle school, I can't believe it.
That'd be
That's,
good.
that's so necessary. It really is.
Yeah. Well, I figured, I was like, I figured I'd let you know, because I was like, that
Okay,
was part of
we'll
the fire.
bring, meeting back to order and have, the Frontier Communications. And will you state your name for the record and
Pleasure. My name is Doug McAllister. I'm Vice President of Frontier Communications, and thank you, Mr. Chair, and the board for allowing me a little time. Just as a little bit of a disclaimer up front, and it's a good disclaimer, I spent about 13 years on your side of the day as an elected official, sitting through presentation after presentation after presentation, wondering why they were so long. My goal in this one is to have this deck be about 5 minutes. And I'll allow time for questions if you were to have any. But my purpose here is primarily to introduce myself to you. As the VP of Frontier Communications, the major portion of my scope of work, they recruited me to, they created the position. I deal with all electeds in Southern in all of California, all city managers, all county CEOs, board supervisors, but that's who I deal with. And my role here is to work for you. The whole idea behind this is to see to it that any issues with Frontier, or good or bad, are not on your desk, they're on mine. And so I've already had meetings with your staff twice now for the purpose of setting up the communication process. We're already working on a few things I was alerted to even yesterday. And so there's the whole idea behind this discussion here is I'll give you some details about what we're about to do. But primarily, what I just want to make sure that if something comes up, and it was like you, like me, when I was in office, go to church, go to the store, go everywhere else, and a constituent would come up and land blast me, and I would have no idea what they were talking about, have to tell them so. And so it was always nice to know who to talk to, and who get the information, and get it resolved as fast as possible. So you'll hear things now and then, and if you do, don't even take the second breath. Either reach out to me directly or through your city your city county CEO, and I will. I tend to get things fixed within a day or so. So just don't put it on your desk, put it on mine. So with that preamble, if we go to the next slide, please. My purpose for being here today is we're in the process right now of expanding our fiber optic network here in your county. Fiber optic, basically, I'm not going to read the slide to you, you can do that at your leisure, but it's basically a game changer when it comes to internet and capacity and resilience and reliability and so forth. So we are the phone company for most of the county, and so where we can do so, we're enhancing our footprint to move from copper, which keeps getting stolen, by the way, and any help you can be with me on that would be great. Moves from copper to the fiber, and so the idea behind that is to get folks hooked up with that. I'm going to explain what that basically is as we go through this presentation. Kind of related to my preamble, this is a quote for me, not the company, but it's that basically they decided when they planned this major push nationwide, they realized they were not going to be able to accomplish their goals to pass the number of houses they needed to pass and the customers they needed to acquire by doing business the old way. And so Frontier made the decision, to their credit, because typically corporations don't do this, but made the decision to try to do business better because they're doing something bigger than they've ever done before. And most of that means, the only way I can summarize that is to quit being a square peg, try to force into a round hole. That's typically what happens is they would come to a county, come to a city, and say, here's what we're gonna do, make it work. And we're reversing that to where it says, when you say jump, we ask how high. And so that was a mindset culturally that the Frontier made the decision to do, and that's where I showed up. What's going on here is basically construction. I'm gonna explain that a little bit for you, so you have some background, so if your constituents ask you. Before we're started, we do inspections, we're marking the utilities and so forth. Try to get ready, but we're also letting folks know we're coming. And so one of the things you may hear at some point is, I didn't know they were coming. If you hear that, I wanna know about it. Typically, we'll always do door hangers or whatever, and if they're like me on a door hanger, when I go home, I drive into the garage. And I go to my front door for two reasons. One is to harvest door hangers off my front door and throw them away without even looking at them. And the other is for my wife's Amazon purchases. So those are my only two reasons to go to the front door at my house. So therefore, I could be notified technically, but yet I wasn't because I didn't look. I look at that as they were not notified. And so we want to keep them up to speed. We're coming, here's what we're doing, and stuff. So we work real hard to, before we even get started, letting people know we're coming. Then there's the permits and construction that goes on, and that's an ongoing thing. My team will work with your team to make sure that is as smooth as possible, and when there are hiccups, it comes to me. If it reaches to your level, if you know about it, that qualifies for me to know about it. I find out about most things in the state of California for Frontier before the company ever hears about it, because I have great boots on the ground intel. And so if you hear about it, feel free to. I have a couple of supervisors over in Tulare County and others who I'm on speed dial for most folks, and they apologize every time they reach out to me. And I keep telling them, don't do that. This is why I exist, and you're actually doing me a favor. As you may have heard, Verizon is looking to acquire Frontier. Frontier bought Verizon, now it's coming to buy it back. And so one of my unofficial roles is to see to it that everything goes smoothly in California, so that can pass. And I can't do that if I don't know about a problem. So you're actually doing me a favor when you reach out to me, so please do. But that's permits and construction. Then there's the big one, is after construction. And sometimes in the more remote areas, we find that things don't get finished. That's gotten a lot better because the contractors now know I will find out. But if something's going on, there's a patch that's temporary and it's been there for 3 months, and it wasn't supposed to be there for 3 days, I need to know about that. We get those things fixed. Do not let them languish. If something comes up, you let me know, and I will take care of it as fast as possible. Couple facts, I'm on just the top 3 there. 100% fiber connection directly to each home. This is not a faux fiber thing where it's fiber to a hub and then it's copper the rest of the way. That's just DSL. This is 100% fiber from I'll show you a picture in a minute, from the side of our wire center all the way to the side of the house, which allows for massive capacities and speeds. You'll get a stronger connection with more devices. I read a study that said and this was a couple of years ago, maybe more now, that the average household has about 22 devices in their home, and I didn't believe it. I mean, what could that be? And so I went home and counted mine. Now my house is me, my wife, and my cat, and my cat doesn't do anything, let alone use anything like this. So it's my wife and I have 13 devices running all the time at our house. And so the problem with that is on the normal copper networks, things like that, that will bog you down. It'll buffer. If you're trying to watch TV or whatever, upload or do a Zoom call, or it just buffers because the capacity is limited. With this fiber, you don't have that issue. There's no choke points. There's as many people and devices on there as you want, you're gonna have the speeds. And these speeds I'm gonna talk about here are up and down. It's not a gig down and meg up. It's up and down speeds, so the capacity is off the charts. There's a mistake on this screen I have fixed on mine. When the options for the speed to 7 gigs up and down. I don't know what you do with 7 gigs in your home. I have no clue. But there are folks who love that. I mean, I guess gamers or I have my office when I'm home is in my home, and I'm at 500 over 500. That's plenty for me. But it's up to 7 gigs, so the capacity is off the charts. When I was first elected in Murrieta, California, about a year later, Verizon came to me wanting to make Murrieta one of the first cities in the nation to be all fully connected with this new thing called Fios. This is Fios on steroids, because then it was 50 megs. Now we're talking 7 gigs. It's a massive, massive change that you're gonna have in your homes here in the region. What it did for Murrieta, among many other things, I was the economic development guy on the council. And basically what we're trying to do is create a fertile bed for businesses to come, because we wanted people to get off the roads. They're driving 2 hours each way to go to work all the time and stuff. And so we went from a bedroom community, just with the addition of a fiber backbone like this, at 50 megs, to a biotech community with hospitals and you name it. And so it was a huge success, and you can see some of those same things for your economic development things. Especially now there's so much work from home. So they have this capacity, they can usually get more capacity at home than they get at work. So there's that. Next slide. This is a brief picture there of the path. It starts at the wire center, goes to a hub that's outside of a community, and then from that community goes into the residential area to these terminals, and then when the customer makes the order, they would make the drop to the house as well. And so, but from that number 1, where it says central office, all the way to the side of the house, it's going to be completely fiber. Okay, let's get down to specifics. We are what's called the ILEC. We're not a third-party cable provider, or we're the phone company. And so we have a footprint within Lassen County. As you can see there, it's most of the county, except for the top, I guess that would be northeast corner over there. But other than that, we're your phone company there. And so in general, where you see that footprint is where we hope to be everywhere someday with this fiber. It's a massive build, and so we're chipping away at it. And so we have a section for this year I'm going to show you. We built last year, and we're going to build again this year. But we are the phone company. Next slide, please. What this slide is showing you have some, they show up okay, but you've got the orange lines and the blue lines. And on this slide, both of those colors represent where we built last year. So you can see there's Susanville there, but outside of the county, I would say, if I remember correctly, about half of the new build was, as far as the number of customers, was actually in Susanville, but the bulk of the build, being as far as how large it was in the county itself. And so you'll see where we already are right now. Next, most of this is all aerial, and as we continue to go forward, most of what we're going to be doing is aerial. This is 2025.
What do you mean aerial? What do you mean aerial?
Aerial, meaning where we already have poles and we already have copper, we're going to overlash onto the copper that we already have. And so it makes everything, we're not digging up streets, we're not digging up sidewalks or anything else. Pardon?
You're going overhead.
Yes. Where we're already overhead, we're already co-owners of poles and that kind of stuff is what we're doing that. Here shows what we're going to be doing this year. You'll see some in Susanville. I'm going to be with the council tomorrow night explaining this part to them. But you'll see also where we're heading out into the county for this coming year. Once again, most of it's aerial, like I explained. It's on the existing poles. There will be a portion of it that's going to be where we already have ducts. We're already underground, and we're just going to existing ductwork because there's capacity there. There will be some boring that will be going on, and I don't know where that is, but there will be some of that going on as well. But we're looking to pass, I think last time it was so far almost 3,000 homes, and we're looking to do another 1,200 this year. If I can go back to the slide that shows the county, the next one, there, right there. As I said here, we are the ILEC, we're the phone company. And so the idea here is that eventually every place you see purple, we want to be with fiber. But we have to get there. So all I know about, and they don't even start talking about the 2026 build until late in 2025. That's even more complicated this time because of the acquisition with Verizon coming on. They may want to do something even bigger, and we don't know. So what I'm showing you here, if you go back to these other two slides, the next one, is what we're doing in 2025. And that's not the end. That's just what we're doing for this year. And I'm going to throw this slide up on the next one there. Those numbers are wrong, and I want to get off it. So if you go to the next slide real quick. because that makes me feel like I'm doing a commercial. One of the reasons folks are loving this is because it's so inexpensive. Most folks stream now. They don't buy packages of 6,000 channels, of which they use 6, and spend $200 or $300 a month doing that. Most folks like me, I stream everything I want to watch, and I'm under $100 a month. The actual prices, it's 200 gigs, 500 gigs, 1 gig, 2 gigs, 5 gigs, and up to 7 gigs. The most you're going to spend right now, the current pricing, went on and looked at that this morning on the website, for 7 gigs is $110 a month. For the 500, it's $39, it's $40 a month. And so what that gets you is your capacity, and you stream what you want. It's $5 here, $10 here, $15 here. And next thing you know, you've got everything you want to watch, but you're probably under $100 if you're like I am at 500 or 500. So for folks that are looking to help their budgets out, this becomes a huge deal for them as well. So it's inexpensive, and it's 21st century technology. And so I went as fast as I could, probably talked too fast, but time for questions.
Well, 14 minutes, not 5.
Did I do 14?
Well,
okay, fine.
I was just curious, you answered, you kind of didn't have an answer, but as far as reaching out to Beaver, Levitt Lake, the deserts in Doyle, Clear Creek, all those outlying areas, you don't have a guesstimate?
No, I don't. And that's my best honest answer I can give you, is we just don't know. I mean, the company does not know. And under normal circumstances, we wouldn't know, because we don't plan until we get to the end of the year to see how far we've come. But with this acquisition happening, that throws another wrench in the works to understand that. So we honestly don't know. We never know, but we really don't know right now. Yeah, but other than the goal is to get there. Now, we are partnering as much as we can with consortiums and others for the middle mile and last mile. And if we can once we're able to do that, that actually makes some of these outlying areas pencil. And so we get there sooner. So we have a whole team who works on those as well. I just don't know what grants they're going to get or whatever else to make that happen faster. So what I do know is what I showed you for 2025. Beyond that, I'm done.
When you say partnering, do you mean like Sierra Rural Electric? And other?
No, with the state and the feds have all kinds of broadband money out there, and so they're giving grants out. And so and the grants are focused, at least theoretically, they're focused on the middle mile. Here we have where everything's in the footprint, it's easy to get to, and then you've got to get a long way to get to the next section, and that's super expensive. And then you've got the last mile even to get further from there. That's what those grants are focused on. So when we are partnered with the different consortiums and the counties and such, and the state, where we're able to get grant money, that's what that money's for. It now many times can make the build pencil, and our stockholders like for us not to lose money, but if we can make it pencil, they're all over us expanding the network. So that's another avenue we're going to go with. Once again, I don't know if we're going to be successful, but we're trying.
Right, Supervisor.
I have a quick question. We're very rural in most of our county, and I know a lot of people have Starlink. What's your comparison with Starlink?
A lot cheaper. Heck of a lot cheaper. But it's a lot faster. When you're going to 7 gigs, I don't know that Starlink goes that far.
I'm just talking for the average household, because I know a lot of people couldn't get very good internet, and they went to Starlink, and they're extremely happy.
Yeah, and I would, if you can't get it, you go to Starlink. I think it's probably being recorded, but I'll say it anyway. I think that's the future. Eventually, where when we're able to get away from the wires and all that kind of thing, I think that's the future. But I think that future is down the road. Starlink's the one starting it out, and I kind of see it going that way eventually. Once the speeds are comparable and other things that are the hiccups with that are figured out, I really see it going that way. But for now, this is our best technology.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Supervisor Scanlon?
Yeah, the church that I pastor, we actually transitioned to this program, and it worked seamlessly. It worked really well.
Okay, cool.
But
I love hearing that now and then.
Yeah, it's worked real good, and we have a lot of technology with the radio station and some other stuff. But I have been contacted by constituents in actually my own neighborhood that are concerned because they tried to get this, and we're told that there'd be a 5-day waiting period from when they would disconnect from the current Frontier service to when the new service would actually pick up. And he had that in his, the quote that he got via email. And then the other part of that is that we live in an area where some of the CCNRs for Susan Hills dictate that everything be underground. And he was curious to know if that would, if you guys would facilitate underground service versus overhead.
If we're not already there, which in most places we are, and it's on a pole, then there, it has to do with tariffs and rules and such like that. We'll probably stay on the poles, but when we're not there, or if it's an underground district and we're there under that district, we're probably already underground. We already have conduit, and we'll use that same conduit again to keep going underneath. Our goal, to be clear, is we want everything underground. It's for the stability of the system, and you know, our network can't start fires. But when fires happen, our network is burned. But if it's underground, we can continue service after that. So that's our goal, but it's horrifically expensive. It's millions of miles, millions of dollars a mile to do it many times. So that's where we're heading. I think Starlink might lead us to that, where we may not get to that. But the short version is that where there's a district and we are not in the air and we want to go there, we will underground. And a portion of this bill 2025 is underground.
Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for coming up. We do appreciate it. I like the little map thing you have up showing where you're gonna go. Just like all the other maps I've seen, it just kind of cherry picks.
Mm-hmm.
You go to the metropolitan areas, which is fine, they need it too, but it's still not getting to the last mile. The
Yeah.
last mile is where we need help.
Yeah.
Everybody cherry picks and gets the middle mile. They do the first mile and middle mile, the last mile is the last one. That's what these grants are for, is to get you guys to the last mile. To get guys like me that live out in the middle of nowhere, the last mile. They all say I'm included in the map, but when am I gonna get mine? It's gonna be 2040, I'll be dead. I mean, so, that's one of the problems that we have. And, you know, with, don't get me wrong, you guys is local, this is something you can take back. Your local technicians that work around here, they are awesome.
Nice.
They're phenomenal. The problem with Frontier is corporate.
Mm-hmm.
Go call customer service, you get an overseas call center, you can't even understand what they're saying.
I once heard chickens in the background.
What's that?
I once heard chickens in the background. True story.
So, there's gotta be a better customer service on the front, at the corporate level. Also at the corporate level, you have Pluma Sierra, who's another competitor of yours in the high fiber. You guys have been blocking them, they've been trying to, it's a local owned cooperative. You guys have been kind of stonewalling them for the last 10 years, and they've been trying to expand on this. Maybe it hasn't been 10 years, but.
I'll check into that because I'm not sure how
Why
they're
not,
gonna do that.
why not partner with that? Why not tie in and work together? Let's serve your customers. It's a win for them, it's a win for you. It may not be the best financially for either one, but you're all gonna come out ahead on this. We're all gonna come out ahead. Lassen County is losing population. Part of the reason is we don't have internet. And then we've got major companies in here fighting over each other for the same small little piece of pie. Why not work together? That's my challenge to you, is to work together with the other entities that are already here. I know it's not gonna make you probably lose your job for doing something like that, but step up. You know, the other thing that, kind of bothered me a little bit, you know, is you have your one quote up there, you have the fiber is a 34% reduction in the CO2 emissions. You look around here, we need more CO2 in Lassen County. What do we have? We have trees and grass. They're gonna absorb that, it's gonna grow. We're an ag-based economy. We need bigger trees for our timber. We need more grass for our cattle. We need more alfalfa to export to the urban areas. I'm not afraid of CO2. The more CO2 we have in the atmosphere, the better. I'll guarantee you the dinosaurs back in the day, they couldn't live on the flora and fauna that's produced today. And there was more CO2 back then than there is now.
That's one of the most refreshing comments I've ever heard.
Anyway,
That was part of the presentation that I was told to put in, and no one's ever brought that up before, so thank you very much.
I hope you'll expand that on.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway. You know, so anyway, I don't know, I guess that's where I'm at, but we're getting left behind again. I know that there's, another company that's coming in, what is it? Golden State Connect Authority, they're looking at coming into Lassen County too. I mean, partner up with these people and don't fight them. Let's all work together so we can serve all of our constituents, because we're withering on the vine up here. We're dying, the wolves are gonna come eat us out. At least give us some faster internet speeds so we can see where the damn wolves are, so we can go move our cows before they come eat them. If nothing else, please. Sorry, Amanda.
It's okay, I understand.
But we need help here. You're the biggest head cheese we've had here for quite a while, if ever, in Lassen County from Frontier, so.
Yeah, well, the start of all that is happening. Millions and millions of dollars invested in your county. And so the context of it is that we're a private company with investors and they don't want us losing money. And so that ties our hands a bit when it comes to cooperating with competitors. And such, but there have been times when we have. And so right now, once again, our goal is to cover the entire county. And so we're looking at all options for that. We have to start out where pencils, because we gotta get these millions of dollars back and start getting revenue from that. And so that's what you're seeing is the start. As we move forward, I have a whole team that's actively working on getting grants to try to expand upon what I've shown you today. And then as we can get those grants, then we can expand that footprint faster. And then it moves into whole discussions about undergrounding and all the other things. And then at some point, maybe the Starlink, I don't know. The future is hard to see what's going on there. But I can guarantee you that our goal is, we want to cover everywhere because that means we have more customers and such. But we've just got to do it in a way that is fiscally responsible, give a fiduciary duty to the stockholders and the investors to see to it that we don't bankrupt the company. Again, they already did once. And so we're coming out of that. And so they're very, very focused on that. But I can tell you that everything you said, that's the goal. And this is the this is the second step to it. 2024, we hit it big time, millions of dollars. 2025, we're doing it again, millions of dollars. And then hopefully, I'll be surprised if 2026 we don't do it again. I just don't know what that looks like yet. But the goal is everything you said. And CO2 emissions, it is what it is. I can't tell them to put CO2 in there, but I'll take that back to them.
It's just a point.
Yeah.
I'm done for now.
Anybody else?
Go ahead.
Okay, well, you can go back to your investors and tell them that, they have, lost a lot of money in this county because of their poor, customer relationships that, you know, and, I can tell you that as a former customer of yours, you know, I'm very happy with Starlinks. You know, we had horrible service from Frontier through this community, and you guys need to. I don't know how you rebuild and come back. You know, and with you trying to sell it off to Verizon, it sends up a red flag to me that you guys know that you haven't treated Lassen County in a fairness. You know, we've had nothing but problems with you, and this government giveaway of money of the last mile is a waste of taxpayers' dollars because you guys aren't going to the last mile. You guys are just cherry picking what is right here before you in Susanville. You know, the last mile is Eagle Lake, Beaver, you know, the far points, Madeline, you know, out, we have areas out in Herlong area that, you know, that's the last mile. And you guys, you know, are just, swindling the taxpayers.
We're not, we have no grants involved in this.
So,
There are no, this bill that
you
we're doing.
guys are applying for it and.
We're applying for
and
them so we
that
can,
is,
we're applying for them so we can do last mile, but this, they're very clear, this is private money. This is, Frontier money is the only money being used in everything I showed you right now. So there's no swindling going on. We're not using taxpayer money, we're not using grant money. And our goal here is with cooperation, be able to get that so we can get to the last mile, the middle mile. But until we are able to have that kind of support, it's gonna take forever to get there. All that does is make it happen sooner. But we're not touching that. We have none of that money right now. So I will tell you very clearly, very strongly, there is no swindling going on, very clearly. Because we're not using grant money for this. This is private money, investor money that's coming in to invest millions of dollars into your county. And this is we're doing our best to do that in a way where it works for the company and also begins to address your needs. That's what we're focused on at this point. And we'll continue to do so, because it's, I agree on the customer service thing, that's an oxymoron in my book. And so that's what I'm talking about, when something gets so frustrating for a constituent, that somehow it comes to your attention, I wanna know about it, because I'll short circuit all that customer service crap and move into, and go right to their bosses and get things resolved. But they need to start there, and if that's not successful, then you know where to find me.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm totally unhappy with the customer.
You should be.
I am, because they were going to fix my phone at Eagle Lake. I sat there and their customer service is, we'll be there between 8 and noon. And noontime comes around and nobody shows, because they fixed the problem. And I said, well, I'm calling you off my cell phone.
Yeah.
And then it was gonna be another 2 weeks. So
Yeah.
Starlinks is the only way to go, in my opinion.
Yeah, we have a situation, when I first was recruited, there was a gal who worked for the city of Bishop who went through that 14 times. And before they finally told me about it, I got taken care of and such, but it's the no call, no show. And you sit there for 4 hours and no one shows up. And it's unacceptable, absolutely unacceptable.
It is unacceptable, and
unacceptable.
that's why you don't have me as a customer.
Yeah.
Okay, and thank you for coming. And yes, Mr. Chairman.
Well, I just want to echo what Mr. Supervisor Alba and Supervisor Neely mentioned as well. I represent the South County community and folks, and everybody's pretty much dumped Frontier because of the customer service. We're either A's and Plymouth Sierra, Rural Electric, high-speed internet, or Starlink, because of all those complications. So you guys have a deal with Verizon buying Frontier, is that what you said?
Yeah, Verizon approached us and wanted to buy us, buy back with what they sold 15 years ago. And so that is the process now of being consummated. We'll see if it really happens. You know, this is a $20 billion deal. We'll see if it really happens, but that is part of the ball in the air. We're not quite sure what that looks like. But right now, I believe the SEC has approved it now, and so we're to the final. I think they're talking about sometime at the end of the year. If it's going to happen, we'll have it around. This kind of ties into what's happening in 2026, and it's like we don't know. One of the issues there, and I'll close with this. I've already spent way too much time up here. One of the issues we're finding with service quality has been, first of all, if it's copper, it gets wet, it doesn't work well. That's why we want to get rid of copper and go to fiber. But also the other thing is we're having a huge issue with copper theft. They'll show up in the middle of the night, they'll cut down 5 or 6 poles, take the cable and run, and then we figure it out, we find out what's going on, and we replace it, and then the next time we do it again. And it's just over and over and over again. Copper is getting more and more valuable, and we're having a lot of issue with that. But what that happens is it takes you out, takes customers out. Then they call customer service, and customer service doesn't have a clue what's going on about that. And so it gets more and more frustrating. My goal personally is that we just get rid of copper and everything is fiber. But we're not anywhere near that at this point. So in the meantime, I'm working with law enforcement all over the state to try to come up with some kind of a plan to at least slow down the thefts. I've seen hospitals go down, 911 goes down, you name it, it all goes down when these people take out our copper. So that's part of the problem that we're still working on. But at the end of the day, it still gets back to customer service and such. And I left Frontier for the same reason 15 years ago. And because they were double billing me and everything else, and then that led to a bankruptcy and such. So they're coming out of that, and one of the areas they want to fix is this, but there needs to be some work. So the reason I exist is because until that gets resolved, you got me, and I tend to resolve that.
Yeah, so going back to what Tom said and what Jason said, et cetera, I mean, are you guys looking at partnering with other entities or businesses to get to the last mile instead of the middle? Because everybody's trying to cherry pick right now.
Right.
Come to Susanville.
Yeah,
the
it's
different suburbs, and we're not getting to the last mile.
the last mile discussion usually involves the grants, and usually involves those creative solutions so that it actually works and we can afford to do it and such. And so I would imagine for those kinds of things that's more of a possibility for that. And by virtue of the grants, we're already partnering with the grantee, whoever's granting the money to do this would be in essence become a contractor to them. But I believe that those are options to have for the last mile and middle mile, options to make them happen, because no one can afford to do that.
I'd like to encourage you and your corporate people to look into doing that, to serve the customers. Because the customer base, as Tom said, it's really low. And the other part of that is that you guys really don't, there's no support for Lassen County, the local communities. I mean, you have your technicians that do something, but as far as the corporate, I mean, there's no, really support for Lassen County at all. I mean, I don't know how you would fix that or anything. I mean, I don't know. And so, like, as you're going through this, are you using local companies and local people, or are they just all yours where you're just all our money's going out of the?
No, as much as possible, we hire local, as much as possible. Sometimes the skill set may not be there, and we have to bring people from the outside, but for as much as possible, we hire local, because we want local people. We want them to be here. They can't fix something if they're not here. And so we're, for as much as possible, it's local folks.
People don't like giving their money to somebody.
I'm sorry?
People don't like giving their money to people, and then it just leaves the county never to get seen again.
Yeah,
So, that's
I
my
agree,
2 cents.
I agree.
Mr. Bridges?
Do you have any business cards?
Yep.
I think each one of us need one. If you don't mind, please.
You're all.
How many do you have? I'd like one.
The only thing I like is that please do not put my contact information on your website. I work for you and for you guys and such, and so I don't want folks to bypass the normal process.
I understand, yeah.
To you, but for your information, yes, business cards right there. Do I have more? I don't know if I gave out enough. There should be more. That number goes to that phone, and I'm checking, you talk to your colleagues around the state, and whether it's elected or appointed, to find out that my reputation is I'm very responsive.
I have to compliment you on that, because there are very few people in your position that will do that. I know every one of these supervisors up here, they carry a phone on them all the time, so their constituents can be taken care of. And that was a wise decision for you, so thank you for that.
It was one of the mandates, when they recruited me, I'll just a little anecdote, when they recruited me, I was not going to take the gig because I was not real thrilled with Frontier. but it was for people who I'd worked with before, and so I said, okay, I'll do this, we understand, well, while you might be paying me, I don't work for you. I would be working for the elected, so I'll be working for the appointed. And so, and the only way I can do that is to counter the problem of customer service. That means is that lack of responsiveness or even that knowledge of what's going on, I'm the opposite. And stuff. I have a whole team that I call internal response, that when something is escalated to me and stuff, I turn it over to my team, and it goes to the top of everybody's pile, and we work to get it resolved. And sometimes things take a while, but most times within a day or two, I can get it resolved. So please, don't even take a second breath. You have a constituent bring something to your attention, I need to know about it.
Okay.
We want them to try customer service first, but I would take back, if they sit through one 4-hour window and no one shows up, I want to know about that immediately. That's not acceptable. People's time is money, is valuable. So,
And that 5-day shutdown, transition period.
I have no idea what that's about. Did they give a reason for it?
That's what I got from customer service.
5-day shutdown? That's absurd.
Agreed.
You got 5 people up here agreeing with you right now.
Okay, all in favor? Okay. I don't understand why, because the technology does not demand that. They show up with all the stuff, and then they turn off the one and turn on the other. It's a so I wrote that one down. I'm gonna see what I can find out about that, because that's absurd.
So we can give your phone number to that person, and they can call you and give you more background.
Give to that person with the 5-day shutdown?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll do it.
Okay,
Boy, it took a lot of time.
is there anybody from the public that would like to, yes, sir?
Yeah, I don't wanna take more of your time, but I'm from Plymouth Sierra Telecommunications.
Can you state your name for the
Sure.
record?
You need to come up to the podium and state your name.
Address these questions.
Yes.
Yeah, and you have to address your questions to us.
Yeah, apologies, I'm Mitchell Little, I'm District Manager for Plymouth Sierra Telecommunications and Plymouth Sierra Rural Electric. I'm internet and power for Lassen County. Yeah, so this came up and I piqued our interest, of course. Fiber to the home, that's what we do. We pursue grants. We're doing tons of work in Milford and Hurlong. I would just really have questions for Frontier gentlemen, but I can ask them about that.
We can
Yeah,
talk after.
good luck
Yeah,
with that.
and I just, his question was really, like Supervisor Alba, we're here to work with them. So if they're open access, if they're standard rates, we can work with them. We can work together on their system and they can work on ours, so that's all I had to ask.
All right, thank you.
Hello, my name is Carrie Drum, and I'm the general manager of Susanville RV Resort. My family's owned the business for about 14 years, and I'll make this part real.
Ma'am, you have to direct all your questions to us.
All right.
Thank you.
So I'll make this part really quick, but historically, we had Frontier since the beginning, and I was incredibly frustrated. It did feel like they owned the market share, and that we had no alternatives. And I also believe that our small business was just being gouged for phone calls in and out, 800. And I finally went to voice over internet protocol, so I was able to step away from Frontier. I was very unhappy with the fact that it felt like a monopoly. And that is now my concern, is that Frontier, in this particular presentation, is suggesting that that's it, we are it. And my question is, what other companies will provide Susanville with fiber optic options? Or is it a monopoly?
Yep. We don't have an answer for that question.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Good morning, Chairman, Commissioners. My name is Maureen Curley.
and I am the tribal administrator for Susanville Indian Rancheria. Thank you for giving me this time. I do have a couple of questions. The first one is that I need your help, especially our councilman from out of Susanville Rancheria, is that we have been working with Frontier. There were some issues that we had with them, and they kindly just walked away from the process. We've been trying to get them to come back and deal with us and settle our questions and settle our problems with them. No one has come back to the table yet. So I do need your help on that. We do have a lot of issues with Frontier. The other thing is that when he's saying that he's covering all of Susanville and the Lassen County, I mean, does that include Susanville Indian Rancheria? Or do they know how to deal with tribal nations when it comes to issues such as internet or crossing boundaries?
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else from the public?
I'll just be quick. Silas Ross, Emergency Services Chief, Lassen County, as you are all well aware, and I don't know if it's unique to Lassen County, but there's one fiber line that comes into Lassen County servicing the Frontier network. And so in the past, log trucks hit it, damage and fires, we lose all internet service that Frontier provides, all landline phone service Frontier provides, and most cell towers, because Frontier services most cell towers. So we have no cell, no internet, no landline. Makes it really difficult for the sheriff doing emergency warnings, evacuations, because we're using a web-based program. The iPause alerts and wheel alerts become more difficult, although they're usually successful. But I just wanted to make it a point of that, of the great program. It'd be really nice if Frontier could look at having an alternate fiber line come into the county so we don't experience widespread communication outages that we have in the past. Thanks.
Thank you. Is there anybody else? Okay, we'll have you back up here and conclude.
I have marching orders. Yeah, the on the monopoly side of things, it's not a monopoly. When I mentioned we're the phone company, that's basically probably for the last 120 years it's been the phone company and such. But it's not prohibiting anyone else to come in and do business with this and such. With regard to the last gentleman, I think it's called diversity or redundancy, so that like this line gets cut, it goes over to this line. I don't know the status of that here for Lassen County, but I'll check into that as well. And then with regard to the other folks, I'm happy to have a chat outside if you want to have a chat. I'll get down to it. I'll take a lot of notes and then I'll get them dealt with. So, unless there's something else, I appreciate your time.
Well, I think part of that redundancy can come into partnership with Pluma Sierra. That can be a redundancy, right? You gotta have those partnerships and you gotta foster them. You got the Indian Rancheria that needs help. And so I hope you'll sit down with them after the meeting, at least get their contact information. If you're gonna meet with the city tomorrow, you can meet with them later today or this evening.
Is I know I can't ask her, is that where the hotel casino is? Yes.
Yes.
'Cause that's where I'm staying, so I'll
Oh, yeah,
check.
just
We'll have a
reach
chat.
There you go, there you go.
Please
Reach out to her because I mean, all of these people are a big part of our community, and
An important part.
You saw my frustrations with your company, and so we would hope if you're truly wanting to be a part of this community that you can reach out to these folks and possibly get something resolved.
Yeah.
And
My
I would appreciate that.
My goal is to earn the business back. Once folks experience the product, they love it, but then they're up against customer service. So it's like we shoot ourselves in the foot sometimes. But my goal is to help the company win the service back, win the business back, and confident we'll be able to do that. But I've got work to do.
Well, thank you.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Yes, we can.
And you want to watch that?
5 minute break. Done H. And it might be long.
Can we go on a break? Oh, all right. All right.
Like, I just need to know how far out.
right, we're going to move to H1. And it's Supervisor Outlaw.
You know, here we are again, guys. I think we had a lot of discussion last time, and we went back, and I don't know who reworded this, but they did a pretty darn good job. And I just want to say thank you. There was one other spot in here, I forget what it was, but anyway, I'm assuming, Sam, you were the biggest deal with this.
It was a group effort between myself and council.
You guys did a good job.
Thank you.
But there was one spot in here where there was gray wolves, we need to put invasive in front of them. I forget what it was. I'll find it.
Oh, we put in Canadian, but we said they're an invasive species on 1, 2, 3. The bullet
Yeah.
item.
Whereas-
4 says these wolves are not native to, there's a whole section on the fact they're invasive.
Yeah, no?
Oh, it's right here. It's in like it's on the second page. In the second one, yes. You just have Canadian wolf. You gotta put it in invasive.
Even though there's a whole section that says they're invasive.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's count it at home.
Got it.
Can we put mean in front of that? Mean Canadian wolf,
Right.
In capital letters.
vicious Canadian wolf.
Hungry.
You know, and I did
Beef
make
eaters.
mention earlier too, you know, that they got this wolf tracker thingy now, on the internet. That supposedly anybody can log into, I think you just gotta get the website, but, and supposedly it's supposed to update every 2 hours, and then you can zoom in on, it's the whole state of California, but you can zoom in on whatever pack you're interested in. It does give you some parameters. I mean, it's a big octagon. So like on this one here, it shows Honey Lake. Let's see that orange circle. The wolf is somewhere within that orange circle. So I think that should be.
Yeah, I really like it.
So it's not a very precise location. It just gives you a general idea of where that wolf is at.
I don't think they want us knowing precise
No, they
locations.
don't. And supposedly it's supposed to update every couple hours whenever the collars update, but they're not guaranteed the collars are gonna update. And it's supposed to be relevant information, not supposed to be a day or two old information like it has been in the past.
Yeah, I think they said every 2 hours.
Yeah, so it's supposed to be current, it's not yesterday's data, it's supposed to be today's data. So they say, but.
To that point, we were at the Fish and Game, and they had a representative, the Fish and Game Commission meeting, and they had a representative there who did clarify that that information is to be ambiguous to protect the wolves.
Yes.
It was met with astounding cheers from the audience.
Yes, Supervisor.
I just want to compliment the changes that were made. I really like this resolution. I just want to ask that all of our Fish and Game Commissioners get a copy. I know, Mr. Smith was asking this morning, you might as well get a copy for each one. I really like all the revisions. Good job.
I think it looks really good. I'm very pleased with it.
I'm happy.
All right.
Good
Yeah.
job to the committee that did that.
Yep.
You made all 5 people
I'm still
happy.
not happy they took fish and predators out.
Duly
Just
noted.
saying, I'm being honest.
Karen,
Can we name it
it's
Fish and
gotta be
Predators
relatable to
Resolution
Fish and
number
Game. They don't
yada, yada.
realize that.
No? Okay.
And two, we had all got together and they drafted a letter. You guys got that?
Oh, yeah.
The H1. And, so, you know, once again, I appreciate the rest of the counties around here joining us in this fight that's been happening. And, I think, Sheriff McGarva has some updates and, can you fill us in, John, please?
I can. John McGarvey, Sheriff Coroner. I will start off with some pretty related good news, not directly to Gray Wolf. Myself and 5 other sheriffs attended the Fish and Game Wildlife Resource Committee meeting last Thursday, and we, between us and a lot of local ranchers and everything, as has been alluded to, we were able to prevent that coyote resolution and language from moving forward, which was a big victory. I think most people kind of saw that for what it was. I did offer to give anyone they wanted a tour, and I will show them as many coyotes as they want to see. My phone is not rang, so I'm not expecting that one. We did have the opportunity to meet with Director Bonham while we were there. We discussed the new wolf program. They demonstrated that. We didn't mention to him that the area he showed us in Sierra County was the exact location they had the wolf killed that day, like an hour before the meeting. So we appreciated him verifying the location of the wolf in that area. I compliment Sheriff Fisher and his restraint. I kind of got a chuckle out of it, but as far as the resolution goes, everything that we are doing, from the sheriffs to the counties and everything else, is continuing to apply the appropriate amount of pressure to at least get things moving forward. Myself and probably 4 or 5 other sheriffs, and we'll be meeting with Secretary Crowfoot tomorrow afternoon in Sacramento to further these discussions and hopefully get some kind of information gained. Back to my meeting with Director Bonham, we did talk about things and resources they're looking to apply. I feel like in some ways, a lot of ways, the pressure that is being put on is being effective, because we are starting to see them change as far as their reaction to how these things go. They're taking while it's not enough, I will be the first to say, at least they are moving the needle the direction we want them to move towards addressing this issue. And again, the theme of this is going to be we're just asking to give us the abilities to do what we need to do to protect our counties. Mm-hmm. And we're not asking for an all-out delisting of everything, but we should be able to at least take it as far as we can take mountain lions and black bears. And I think that is a completely reasonable take. And we just keep pounding that home and keep hammering that issue. And it's hard to argue with when you see we obviously we got a reported depredation in Willow Creek yesterday. Sierra County and Plymouth County had 2 over the weekend. Sierra County is a virtual, the only way Cogwood is almost a bloodbath with what they're experiencing on their ranches. And it's, my concerns are great here. We just had, the Dyke Creek place over at the 101 Ranch just brought their cattle back to Goodrich. So the cattle are coming back up here from the valleys to start pasturing, and the concern is that we are going to see more and more of these confrontations between the gray wolves and the cattle. I think this resolution, I read it this morning. Obviously, I could not be here last week for the discussion. I'm extremely pleased with how this looks. I want to compliment Amanda and Sam on how this came out. I think it's going to help address us and put the pressure in the right places. I did review the discussion of last week's meeting, and I feel like this is going to be a better tool to help me push things forward. So I want to thank everybody for that. As far as I did make a presentation to the Fish and Game Commission regarding gray wolves last week. Did have a discussion with the Fish and Wildlife representative that was there. The only thing I can say is him and I definitely have a difference of opinion about how things are actually interpreted and proceed, and what is the definitions of certain things. I think that would be accurate. Other than that, I'll take any questions you wish to ask me.
Supervisor.
I just want to compliment you on all your hard work, extra hours. You're working morning till night before the sun comes up, getting home after dark, driving all over the place. I just hope you and the wife have a fun vacation planned sometime soon, because you deserve it.
Thank you. I know she's looking forward to seeing me at some point at my retirement or something. I don't know. But no, thank you. She's been a champion for this, and I can't compliment her enough. I wouldn't do what I do without her support. So.
I have to mention, you could see the friction from Fish and Game the other night at the Fish and Game meeting. The opinion in the room was quite different than his, and he almost lost his temper a time or two voicing it, or putting his opinion forward.
Defending it.
Yeah, defending it.
I've been told I have that effect on people at times, but
no,
but
you were on point.
So
you were on point.
Good, thank you.
I compliment you on that. That was what I wanted to cover. So
thank you. I really appreciate that. We're really putting a lot of time and research in. There's not a day goes by where I don't talk to a neighboring sheriff about this. I'm working as close as I can with Sheriff Fisher, who's really kind of took the lead and spearheaded these things as as things have progressed. And then I'm assisting as much as I can. But really, we're all of us in this North State are all in the pool on this, trying to push, and we're pushing as hard as we can.
All my questions more for discussion, so.
Anybody else? Yeah, Eric?
You know, I gotta agree, Mr. Robert, thank you for your time on this. When you were elected or appointed to be sheriff, you had no idea that you were gonna be half fishing game warden, half sheriff.
I missed that part of the job application, yes.
Yeah. So, anyway, but you're right, I mean, it's pasture time. I mean, people are turning out on the Forest Service, they're turning out on the BLM, they're bringing cattle up there, it's just gonna get worse and worse as this moves forward, as we go on. And so I got a question, we were gonna talk to Melissa about the, steel jaw maple traps. Did you ever get any feedback from her on that?
I have not been able to reach out to her at this point. We are both very busy, but we will get to that conversation shortly.
Okay, all right, I just wanted to check on that, see where we stood on that, and proceed with that. So,
All right. Is there anybody from the public that would like to comment on it? Okay. So, and John, I wanted to thank you for going to the meeting with Mr. Crowfoot tomorrow.
yeah.
I wish I could be there, but I am going to have a new grandson on Thursday, and so I need to
Way more
be
important.
down there.
Absolutely.
That's a good priority.
But thank you, and I guess on the 10th we'll get another update of how that went.
Possibly. I'll probably have to send someone to my places. I'll be out of the area for that period of time. I might finally get that vacation. So, but I will be back sometime in June with an update for the board.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll bring it back up here. Mr. Albaugh.
I got one other thing, you know,
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I brought it up yet, but it was back in March when I talked to Mr. Bottom about when we got one of the kills in the last county, and I was talking to him about it, and he actually told me that I was part of the problem because of the inflammatory language that I used. He said I was part of the whole problem, of why people were upset because of it. So anyway, so I've got no use for the man, and that's why I've been down this stuff as much as I can, and that's why I want fishing crackers and accept it, because anyway, I think this is a good resolution. I'm very happy with it. I think it covers the point. It doesn't have as much sharpest teeth in it, so I'd like to see it be, that's me personally, this board, it represents the county very well. I think it represents the board. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I would move approval of this resolution.
Make a second.
And Supervisor Scanlon, second it. Supervisor Albaugh made the motion. And two, the other thing that I read on social media too, that I mean, with us sending this letter to President Trump too, there are people that are starting to take note back in Washington DC that the wolf, not only here in Lassen County but throughout the United States is a major problem, and so I think we're getting some good traction, and this is just going to help our cause.
Mr. Chairman?
Can I say something real quick? Sorry, just as a filmer.
Yes.
Can you guys reiterate what you guys are?
I need you to state your name for the.
Amanda Eder, Lassen County Unfiltered. Can you guys reiterate what you guys are actually doing so I can have it on record as the public can know what you guys are actually doing? Like the letter, where is it going? Why are we doing it? That kind of thing. Is that okay?
This agenda item is related to a resolution, so pass a resolution.
It's a resolution and correspondence regarding the gray wolf, and we are going to be sending it to, Mr. Crowfoot and to the president to, to let them know that we, have a problem.
Thank you.
That was kind of
Yes.
my question is, we signed this and we have the resolution, which I agree with, and it's gonna go to Mr. Crowfoot, and then we're taking the resolution and mailing this as well to the president. Is that what's happening, or?
We can, my vision is that this goes to Wade Crowfoot, this goes to Governor Newsom, this goes to Chuck Bonham, goes to Senator Megan Daly, Hadwick, Doug LaMalfa, Adam Schiff, the state senator, you know, the other counties around, so that they know what we've done just last, we've seen the other counties, you know, and the one thing I wanna kind of reiterate a little bit is people are kind of giving Lassen County a little bit of flack because we haven't been Johnny on the spot with the resolution like the other counties have. Well, we've been Johnny on the spot since 2016 with this thing.
Yeah.
And nobody else has stepped up until 2024.
Yeah.
And so we're a little bit late to the fact, well, that's all right. Let somebody else kind of take it.
Did we already send a letter directly to the president?
We did.
Besides this one? So this will kind of follow that up.
Yeah, this will be kind of more.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, we've been fighting the wolf problem, you know, like you said, since 2016,
Before any
17.
other
and,
county.
You know, now it's in their backyard, and now it's,
So now
but we've needed their help all along,
Yeah.
and we're
There's
getting
more
good
voices
traction.
with more evidence.
Exactly.
It's all coming together, because like, as Mr. McGarvey said, you know, we're finally starting to get traction, because we're impacted.
Yeah.
And so hopefully this will help move the needle a little faster, a little stronger, give us more tools, which, that's what we've been asking for.
Absolutely.
Because I remember back when Bond was here, and before that, even, I mean, I was saying, you know, that their policies are just gonna make, they're making criminals out of honest citizens. And somebody's gonna get mad and frustrated, and they're gonna take one over, that's what they've been waiting for, and they're gonna make an example out of that person. So,
Okay, everybody happy?
we
Good.
have a roll call vote on this, please.
Absolutely. Michelle, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Of course. Supervisor Scanlon,
Yes.
Supervisor Bridges,
Yes.
Supervisor Alba,
Aye.
Supervisor Ingram,
Aye.
Supervisor Neely.
Yes.
And Michelle, do you have something for us to sign before we leave?
Yes, I need all 5 of you to sign the proclamation for the torch run before you guys take off.
Okay.
Okay.
And, so with that, we're going to move on to H2.
Correspondence.
No notes.
Nothing? Amanda?
No, just a reminder that we're not having a meeting next week.
Okay.
Nope.
Speaking of which, when are we meeting next week?
24th.
June 24th. It's been noticed.
Yeah, have all the donuts and coffee ready. All right, with that note,
Omelets.
I will, adjourn the meeting. Thank you.